Hey everyone, I am back with another beautiful shot to create with Lazy Motion Library, a pack of 20 plus product motion assets that you can use for product visualization. So let's get into this tutorial and I'm going to show you how to create all of this step by step. So as you can see, I have the Lazy Motion Library loaded up. Make sure you have Blender 4.2 plus. I wouldn't suggest using the most recent versions because they can have bugs. For this one, we're just going to use one of these assets, and I'm thinking to use the softballs small, this asset. So as you can see, I have the product loaded up right here, and I'm gonna add this model to the directory of the Lazy Motion Library files. So you can go to your email and go to that folder again and download this file. It's gonna be in a folder named resources or something. So just open the same Lazy Motion Library directory and you'll find a file there. And one more quick thing to mention here is that whatever animations that I create with Lazy Motion Library are from now on gonna be in a folder in that same directory named the template files. So they're gonna be the template files that you can download and look into it, maybe get inspired or copy a setting or something from there and use it in your own ways in your own files. You can't just render my thing and upload it, that won't be real. So just make sure to change it up in a way so that you can upload it. And yeah, I've already uploaded a lot of template files there and you can check it out, and I'm also going to upload the project file from the results that I've made with it. So let's get into it. I'm going to drag and drop this asset into the scene, and first of all we're going to select this empty right here and hit Alt G to move it into the center. Now right here I need to scale this up quite a bit so the simulations work perfectly fine and I don't get many issues. I think this should work fine. And now I'm just gonna bring it down a little bit to center it out. Now right here I have an object that's it's named as select collider product. So I'm gonna select this object, and right here we have a modifier where I can pick my main product right there. And now that that is picked up, next thing we're gonna do is, now as you can see it's a lot bigger than the product we have, so I'm gonna scale this down. This is basically creating a collider for us. As you can see, my product is very simple, and I have also applied a remesh filter on it as well. So you can see over here, this is a remesh, and I'm probably gonna be removing that. So I'm just gonna remove this modifier from that. We're gonna use two meshes, one for collision and one for the final render. So this one is gonna be rendered in the final one, and I'm gonna align these two together. You can parent them to each other as well, because once you need to animate them, you're gonna need them to move together. So I'm just quickly aligning this. So I have matched these two objects together, and I'm gonna be hiding the main product for just a second so that we can simulate the whole thing and then we turn it back on. And by the way, this select collider product object, this is not going to be rendering because it's already turned off in the render. And now we're going to set up this simulation system real quick. We have a lot of options. We're going to be using just a few of them to make this setup. First of all, we have the detail. For now I'm going to make the detail 1 because now we're just trying out different things and simulating them. And once we're ready to render it, I'm going to set the detail to 2 and then bake it again. Now we have the density factor. I want a lot of density, and the density max, we can change that later if you want, and we can select a material. Now we have the scaling settings, so I'm gonna set this up like that. I'm gonna be making an update on this to make this scaling a lot better, because now I think it's a little bit confusing, but you can just change up these values and try to figure it out. I think this is pretty good for now, and I'm gonna select this and hit Ctrl A, apply to scale. Okay, now it's a lot smaller. I think this is what I like here, and now we're gonna bring down the density because there's a lot of instances here. I'm gonna bring this density down a little bit, scale this thing down. I think this should work fine. We already have a force field on the product, which is a hidden force field. But for this one, we don't just need the balls to kind of get attracted toward the product. We also need some sort of random motions along these corners of the product. And for that, I've had force fields in my original animation. So these are the force fields. Let me just hide this. These are force field vortexes. It's a vortex like that. So you go to Shift A and you go to force field and get a vortex. Now right here, just scale it up and move it into a position like this, and you give it some strength like 200 maybe. Let's see what I use here. I think I've used like 15 and then I used -14. Okay, so you don't need to go a lot higher, maybe around 10 to 15. This should work fine for a scene of this scale, but you can always play around with this setting. If you see the particles moving away from the product, you select the product collider object, and this negative strength, just move it a lot more negative, like around 1000. Then they're going to be getting attracted a lot faster and with a lot more force, so they won't move away from your product, and still the vortex is going to do its thing and move around the particles around the product. I'm just gonna select this new one and delete it, but this is what I've added around the product. And at the start I've animated the strength of it, so in the starting it's very slow. Once the particles get attracted or placed onto the surface, the vortex starts working. So this is just keyframed, it's keyframe animated. You just click on this thing and keyframe it. So these are the force fields. This is -37 and this is 98. And now next up, we just bake the simulation. We go to the physics properties and right here go to cache and then just click on bake. So I'm just baking about 120 frames for now. You can set the end frame and the start frame from here. I'm gonna set that to 250. And there's the simulation speed and pressure as well. So I might make this to, the speed is gonna be 2, and the bubble mass, let's bring that up a little bit. The pressure, I might decrease this because I want the particles, the balls, to be a little bit squishy. Let's go to bake this thing. So I'm gonna click on bake. And why did it happen so fast? Okay, so I think the cloth isn't activated yet. So you're just gonna click on activate simulation first, then go to bake it, delete bake and bake. Now it's gonna do its thing, and once the bake is done, we're gonna be able to preview how our simulation looks like, and then after that we can just do some lighting and maybe animate our camera slightly, and we're gonna get that perfect shot. Okay, so the bake is done and let's preview how the animation looks like. I'm gonna turn off the overlays and let's just play that. Okay, you might see this kind of craziness, but we can fix this and you can see that it is working. So first of all, what I'm gonna do is make the detail 2, and next up I'm gonna make the speed about 1.5, and maybe we can make the bubble mass a little bit higher. I'm gonna delete the bake. Maybe in this collider object the strength is kind of low, so maybe make that about -800. Let's try to bake this one and see how that looks like. Okay, so the bake is done and let's play that. So the particles are acting a lot better right now, and as you can see, but I think they are a lot squishier than I wanted. So maybe we can just delete the bake and go to the pressure settings and make the pressure about 3 or 4. I'm gonna go for 4, and the speed is good. Now let's just bake that again. Okay, so the bake is done and the results are somewhat similar to what I've made. But the thing is, you need to pay attention to these force fields, bring the power up, down, or adjust it to your scene. And once you do that one by one and spend time on it and hit bake, watch your movies, then come back, see how the bake looks, then just change up a few things and then repeat. And that's how I was able to get that result. Because it depends on scale and the scene as well. What we'll do next is some lighting, and yeah, we're gonna be done with this scene. So let's go to cycles for this and GPU compute. Next up, what I'm gonna do is maybe I'll get a gradient texture because it's the easiest way to light something like this, and then maybe have it easing. So for now, we're gonna hide the collider object and just reveal our product in here. So next up, what we have is we need to shade these balls, and I'm gonna give it this material here. We're gonna use the material.002. Maybe I'll provide this with this model, so as you import or open this file, you're gonna find this material there. Next up, we're gonna do some lighting. So first of all, I need a camera here, so get an empty circle maybe, and adjust empty size. Scale it up. I'm gonna center it out on the product. And next up, let's just get a camera and grab one axis. Hit Alt R, RX 90. And we're gonna center out the camera as well. Now first select the camera and then select the circle, Control P, and keep transform. Now as you go to the camera view and scale it up or down, rotate it, you can control the camera very easily. And now what I'm gonna do is set up the resolution as well. I've rendered mine in 4K, but you can choose any resolution here. I'm just gonna go for 1080 by 1080. And the camera settings, maybe choose something like 130 for the focal length. Select the circle again, scale it up to zoom out, and then we're gonna go to viewport display and set the passbar out to 1. Now let's select the circle back again, maybe create another window here so that we can look at the camera in one and do the work in the other one. Now just bring up this empty, maybe I'll rotate it a little bit. So hit I to insert the keyframe here, and on 250. By the way, my scene was a lot longer, like 360. I'm gonna hit Alt R on this empty, so it's straight again, and hit I to insert it. So you're just gonna get rotated like that. And if you want to change the duration of this simulation, you're gonna go here to the modifier section, and you can set the end frame to 360 or whatever you want, and the start frame, I set it up to -60 because when I start the render from frame 1, this part is gonna be cut out and it won't be rendered. So you can still choose to do that if you set the start frame to something like 60 and it starts from this part only. Now let's go to the renderer and try to fix this. Gonna go to the shader editor, go to the world tab here, Control T, and now you can rotate this along the Z axis just like that, so we can get something nice. I think the logo is over there and my camera is rotated wrong, so I'm gonna go to the viewport here and select the camera empty and go to delta transform here, and on the Z axis we're gonna rotate it 90 degrees. So now the logo is facing towards the camera. Go to the shader editor and set up this Z rotation of the gradient. That is good to go. I've set up my color a little bit to this greenish side, and make sure you choose the right material for the balls. And here you can see it is actually the H2O shader from my add-on. So just check that out. I'm gonna name it to something like Boss Shader. You can see it is a lot better than what you get in the simple glass shader. If I add it here and connect it to the surface, you can see the difference between the normal default shader and our shader. Next up, what we want to do is add some lights to the scene. So the rule is, first of all, you add a light on the top. It is a must. So just bring that up. I'm gonna make it an ellipse. Scale it up, bring it down a little bit, and set the power to about 1000. And you can see the difference right away. So if I hide it, it's a lot better. And then I just duplicate this, rotate it, and set it to the side right there. So you gotta look off the camera and see where it is, and over here the camera is here, and then I put it to this side and set the power to about 400. Maybe I'm gonna put it over here, and if you see this kind of thing, it won't render, but it'll be visible to you in the viewport. Probably, I don't know if it's my Blender version or it's everywhere, but you can go to the object data properties, visibility, and turn off the camera and it won't be visible. Maybe bring down the spread for this one a little bit. That's good. Let's just duplicate this light to this side, and that's already looking great. Maybe we'll make this 500 or 600, and just duplicate this light on here so that the front is not totally dark. Maybe I'll add it here to the bottom. Just try to figure out and see what looks good for your product. And I'm just gonna go to this color management, make it higher contrast, and go to the compositor, do a little bit of color correction. I like to give it a little bit of a cooler look. Color balance, I'm gonna make this a little bit lower, bring this up a little bit. Also go to the compositor here and set it to always, and make this a little bit cooler to the bluish side. And now if I just render this, it's gonna look amazing, I know. Also, you gotta look out for this thing as well, like not getting caught by the camera. So this much should be alright. This is our render. I'm probably gonna rotate this a little bit more to see what actually looks good. Maybe make the color a little bit black so that it's not too powerful. Let's get a render preview out of this. Samples, I'm gonna make it 300. And the light paths, this is very important. Just set the diffuse and glossy to about 10 or 12 so that the gloss can look as amazing as it looked in my scenes. So just make the glossy to 15 maybe. Give it a bit of more transmission as well. And now render that. I might add a subdivision surface at the end on the simulation as well. So let's select it, subdivision surface, and it's in the end, so it doesn't matter, it won't mess up your bake or anything because it's already simulated. I'll make this render to 200 because I want it in 4K. But if your PC is not that powerful, just set it to 100. But if you can render in 4K, just set it to 200 and render it out. And I don't even know if that makes for 4K because it's 1080 by 1080. I don't know, but it does look good. As you can see, this logo right here is shiny, so I could have added a little light here that was creating a nice reflection, but you can do that for yourself. And there we go, it looks great. Next up, make sure in the render settings you go to the denoiser, and if you have a GPU you can turn that on. It really makes a difference while rendering. This is it. The project file is going to be available, and The upcoming files are also going to be available for free to download if you already bought the Lazy Motion library on cleverpoly.store. So let me show you how to buy it. Let's go to cleverpoly.store, and right here you can see all these products. The Lazy Motion library new assets are coming soon as well, so I'm working on it day and night. There's a Let's Chat button for my Discord as well. All the guides and installation process available here, and these are the assets. They're very well packaged, and I try to eliminate all the bugs as I see them, and if somebody reports them to me, I try to remove them. Because I already have some, yeah, here are the bugs, and I'm working on them. So yeah, this was Lazy Motion Library Softball's small asset, and I'm gonna be making more tutorials on the Lazy Motion Library and mixing it up with all the lighting tips and everything. So yeah, whenever a new video comes out, you can hope for some nice animation tips. So I'll see you in the next one.